Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Mika Frankl. We got an old friend joining us today, Marquis Smith. And for the first time ever, we're going to be talking about pugilism, jumping into that boxing ring this Saturday in Rio Doso, School of Hard Knocks Promotions, going to be taking on Derek Perez. How you doing, sir?
Good, good. I appreciate you having me back on. It's been a while.
Man, my pleasure always. So, where are we starting this conversation? Where's the story start out with Marquise and where he's at with his career? Where are we picking up the conversation from in your view?
Oh man. I guess the best part to start is about 2 years ago. I moved back to Albuquerque from San Antonio, and I had a fight lined up. It was with Fury FC. It was at 125. I was on weight, like everything was good, and then it was the COVID year, and COVID took us out for a year, so we weren't able to fight. So that kind of put a damper into things. And then the second year, life just got the best of me. Life gave me my toughest fight yet in the last year, and now we're finally overcoming that. We're bad. Like we fought. I stayed solid, and we're back now. So I'm excited.
What led to coming back home? I know San Antonio was a big move for you, training with Pete Spratt. What made you want to come back home?
Honestly, it was a family matter. My daughter was here. My daughter needed me here, and that's why I did it. I came back for my daughter, and now it's time to make good on my move and continue with my fight career and just get back to where I was. A lot of people, in the last 2 years, they've heard stories, but now I'm older, I'm more mature, mentally, physically, and honestly, career wise, also and training wise. I always laugh because I'm like a young vet around the gym. I'm a young guy, but I'm able to pass on knowledge to like guys my age or younger than me because I've been doing it for so long now. Like this is year 11 training, and I want to say like year 5 or 6 being pro. And I've I've been through damn near everything I feel like a fighter could be through at this point. So I feel like I got a lot of knowledge to pass on to teammates and the younger generation now.
The last two guys you fought in the cage are both now fighting in the octagon. You were taking on some of the top competition. How do you look at those fights now, having seen where those guys have went?
Oh, the last two guys I fought are in the UFC now. I mean, congrats to them. Uh, I could sit here and be a shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh, if I did this in the fight and did that in the fight, but I'm grateful for those opportunities because anybody that I've ever fought will always tell you that I was one of their toughest fights, if not the toughest fight. And because I had just have this killer be killed mentality, and it doesn't matter who it is. Like I don't care if you're the UFC world champion or if you just some guy coming out the street saying that you could take me out. Like it's kill or be killed. So with them being in the UFC, and I've watched, I've seen their debuts, I've seen their fights, and I've also seen where my training is at and the quality of training partners that I have and who I've trained with in the last 2 years that I've been off. And all I'm saying is we're right on track still. I'm 26 years old now, and I'm grateful for taking on the toughest competition that I have my whole career. It was always someone in the top 10, no matter what state I was in. And I'm grateful for it because when I get there, I'm gonna know that I belong because I fought the toughest, not because I sat around fighting guys. I didn't fight trash cans and get the 10-0 record, get signed, and then get exposed. No, I'd rather get there with a lot, like not a lopsided record, but have some dings and dents on my record because I went and I took the risk that a lot of these guys won't because they want the fast route, and I'm on the turtle, like the slower the turtle wins the race or whatever the saying is.
So you're on that marathon pace instead of sprinting.
Yes, sir, always.
You've had those competitive fights. You've been up at the upper echelons. How has that kill or be killed mentality now changed working here in Albuquerque, Jackson Acoma with Nick Urso?
Oh man, if anyone's ever been in a room with Nick Urso, you'll understand why you will always keep the kill or be killed mentality. Nick is a great coach. Nick, when he rocks with you and when he has love for you, he's gonna bring the best out of you. And that's what I love about it, because from the moment that I messaged him, I think the day, like a couple days before I was moving back, like, yo, could I come train with y'all? He said, yeah, stop by. And came in and we just clicked. And he's been by my side these last 2 years, despite what I've gone through in life, and has always just kept reminding me, hey, you're gonna get back in there. Like when there were times and days that I didn't think I would ever fight again, when there were times that I thought I was done, he would always messaging me, hey, it's time to get back in there. And there were a lot of guys, like there's a lot of, because even though they're my teammates, I look at a couple guys as coaches. I got Nick Urso, I got Ray Borg, and Landon Venata. And those three guys right there, it's like it's like an all-star team, So it's an all-stars team of three different styles, and I love it. I love picking their brains from each of them and trying to implement it in my own game. And those three guys literally were on me the last 2 years. Like, don't let your potential go to waste. Like, you're gonna get back in there. We're gonna get you back in there. And I battled, and now we're finally here. And I can't even stop saying how excited I am to finally be back. It's fight week, and it's my first fight week in like 2 years, so it's nice.
You say it's your first fight week, but there's been a lot of battles. It sounds like you don't want to go into detail, but how much more mature or a different person have these adversities made Marquis become over these last 2 years?
Oh man, they definitely made me a better man. And I know that sounds very cliche, but by better man, what I mean by that is my daughter, I'm going to be able to tell her about these last 2 years of my life one day. And when I tell her that, what I want her to get from it is that no matter how bad life knocks you down, you hit rock bottom, you feel like dreams aren't reachable, and your heart, like my heart, and I'll go into depth about one story, is my brother passed away. My brother Darren, long live Darren Rivas. He passed away. It will be a year on June 24th. So this fight means a lot to me because his birthday was June 4th. I fight June 18th, and then his anniversary is on the 24th. So this fight is dedicated to him, and as the rest of my career is, because one thing, the last 2 years, he was one of the ones that was always like, man, I can't wait till you get back. Like, he was the one telling me when I was down and out, like, come on, let's go work out. And he was waiting for this day. He was waiting for me to be back, and I'm back. So this is all for my brother. So it's made me stronger physically, mentally, and I'm just ready. I'm a dog right now. I'm a dog. I'm motivated. My skills are finally coming together in all aspects, and I'm going to go on a run right now. Like, I'm going to stay active. This is the last layoff I plan on having in my career, God willingly, that this is the last layoff you'll ever see me on, because I'm ready to, as we say in some neighborhoods, I'm ready to get my lick back on the guys that, that got the chances in the UFC that I fought. Like, I'm ready to get my shot. Like, I got teammates that I've trained with in other states that have made it, and I'm proud of them, and I love singing for them, but I know I belong. So that's like, the best way to explain it is, this is the first time in 2 years that I'm talking about the UFC again. This is the first time in 2 years I'm talking about wanting to be a world champion again and being one of the best.
But get started with a boxing match.
Yes. You the boxing, man. Everybody, you want to know something? Everybody always has known that I have hands, and now I can finally show it off without getting taken down when I touch somebody. So
did you plan to always jump in, take a professional boxing match? Was this opportunity basis? How did this fight come together that this is the ending of the layoff?
Honestly, I started boxing first when I was about 15 years old. So I never got a shot to have an amateur boxing fight. I never got to go do USA boxing tournaments. I had my daughter at a super young age. So like me being young and immature, I was like, well, let me just go to MMA because I could, get a fight as soon as I turn 18 and go pro sooner than I would in boxing possibly. So a goal of mine was always to have one boxing fight or wherever boxing takes me at this point now in my career. And of course, I thought that the boxing was going to come at the tail end of my career, but it's coming at the most perfect time possible. And I tried to, for the last like 6 or 8 months, I tried to get on MMA shows. It was to the point where I was telling promoters, shit, I just want to be back in there. I was like, I don't care if you don't pay me. I will pay for mine and my coach's flights to wherever city you in. I'll fight the best dude you got on your promotion. I mean, you could ask some of these guys, some of these promoters. I got the receipts. I was saying, give me whoever, and I don't care. As crazy as this sounds, I offered to fight somebody at 155, 145, 175. I even offered to fight a dude at 185 at one point because I was just like, let's do it. Like, and the dude at 85, we was like, it was funny because he was an 85er, but we were the same size. But I was just that's where my mental is at about being a dog. Like, I'm just like, I don't feel like anyone could beat me right now. And that's just where I'm at in my career.
Derek Perez is going to be the guy standing across the ring from you, and he's a wily veteran. He's been in the ring, been in the cage, done the bare knuckle thing, done grappling. He's been everywhere. Do you feel like there's an experience difference that you're on the disadvantage side of because, well, he's been in so many fights, and obviously he does have more pro boxing experience than you?
Derek Perez, we were around the same circle at one point. And I always, show love to him and his family, him and his brother. They are vets. These dudes were fighting. Like, these dudes were fighting at shows that I was going to when I was 17, 18 years old. Like, oh man, this is what I want to do. And these dudes were the ones fighting on the show. You know what I mean? So I always got to give respect where respect is due because these guys, they are from Belen, New Mexico, and they put on for their city. You know what I mean? Like, everyone knows that Gene Perez and Derek Perez will fight you in an alley, in a phone booth, in your mama's kitchen. And they'll do it on an hour notice. They'll do it on a week notice. They don't care. So I love that. And that's why this fight with Derek is so fun to me because I got a dancing partner that I know is going to meet me toe to toe. He ain't gonna take no steps back. I'm not gonna take no steps back, and I know he's gonna bring it. And as far as like his experience, like, this is nothing against him, but he hasn't fought anybody like me. So we could go ahead and talk about experience, but I have my own style. He hasn't fought nobody like me, and I can say the same. I haven't fought no one with his style because I've watched film and I'm like, okay, and I see certain things and I'm like, Derek is tough, and I don't care what anybody says. He's a tough cat, and I'm excited to share the ring with him because I wouldn't want to put on a show on my first fight back no other way than with someone that's just gonna bang, like someone that's just gonna get it.
We've seen Derek up at 47 and take some shots from some big punchers. So you're already coming in with the mindset here that this one, it's going the distance. That getting him out would be a pretty big accomplishment.
Oh yeah, like, we always train to go whatever the contract rounds is. If it was whether 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 or 12, always training for that and above. So yes, like if I stop Derek Perez, yes, it would kind of be a medal because he's a tough dude. He's tough. He doesn't go, like, he goes out on his shield. I will say that. He goes out on his shield when he does go out, and he's just a super respectful dude. Like, you gotta respect what him and his brother have done for their town and for the community, the MMA community of New Mexico. Because, hey, they saved the day for a lot of promoters. I know that much. When promoters can't find somebody on a week notice, they call the Perez brothers and they do their thing.
Man, hours notice. I've done seen it right before the weigh-ins.
Yeah, them boys, they be in their sauna suits outside in the summer getting it in.
Why are you still doing this? What has led you to, well, everything's going on in full to say, I'm still gonna go after this dream.
Man, that's just it's me. And I'll tell a very sentimental story that my dad used to ask me all the time. He would always ask, "Who are you? Who are you?" And me being young and caught up in the being a fighter, I'd always say like, "I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter." Like he's like, "So that's all you bring to the table, just being an MMA fighter." And I was like, and it wasn't until like the last 2 years when I got the sport taken from me that I was more than that. I was the good friend. I was the good father. I was the good son. I was the good brother and all the above. And once I accomplished that and came at peace with that I'm more than just a fighter and that I have so much more to offer to life, I said, okay, now that I've proven that to myself, it's time for me to accomplish my dreams and be great and be who I know I can be. And I've just manifested it. And I wake up in the morning, I tell myself, you're great. You're going to be great. You're going to be one of the greatest. And that's all I think about now. Like, I'm ready to be great because I used to watch fights, UFC fights and pro boxing fights. And I'd be like, man, like some of these guys are good. But then I'm like, I'm one of these guys that are good. I'm just the I keep saying this, I'm an underground killer because I'm the underground guy that the world doesn't know about yet. Very few know my potential and have seen glimpses, but the version of myself that I am today is going to be different. And I'm so excited to just go on this run and keep pursuing this dream for everyone to see. And then I can't wait to tell my story in the end because it's been a hell of one.
What's the feeling the last week or so here of camp been like there at Acoma?
It's been great. It's been great. The last sparring session went great. Feeling sharp, diet's great, weight is great, and honestly, it's been sentimental at times just to think about where I was at the even let alone the beginning of this camp to where I'm at now. And there's been moments that I've sent text messages randomly to Nick or to Ray or to Landon. Like, I'm just up late night thinking like, damn, like I appreciate y'all for riding this out with me as I have with my friends and my family. Like, you could ask any of them. It's been an emotional one more for the simple fact that I didn't think that I was going to be back. It was starting to look scary there for a minute as far as like I was trying and wasn't getting my shot. And luckily, Isidro Castillo with School of Hard Knocks Promotions up there, he's based out of Haas, but this show's Rio Doso. He presented an opportunity to me, and we jumped on it. And now we're going to be fighting beautiful Rio Doso. I keep hearing how nice it is up there, so it's going to be nice.
This weekend, what kind of expectations have you set on yourself for the return, first boxing match, tough opponent? What are you expecting out of Marquis in the ring?
Hey, for the first time in my career, I could say just to have fun. Just to have fun. I don't try to put no more pressure on myself as I did when I was younger. Like, I used to fight and be like, oh, I really need and want the winning money and blah blah blah, or I really need this win if I want to get to the UFC by this age. Man, I'm a free soul right now, so it's all about just going out there, having fun, showcasing my skills and the time that my team puts in with me, from my teammates to my coaches, and also let the people that spend their hard-earned money see that, hey, I'm back and let's get it.
And before I let you go, last thing I gotta ask is, what's your favorite Kiss song?
Hey, you want to know something crazy? Is you gonna laugh at me for this? I don't know no Kiss song. This was just one of my brother's lucky shirts. I just so happened to wear it today, and I got into my apartment right as this was starting, so I didn't get to change. So, hey, you're gonna have to put me on to some Kiss music.
All right. We're gonna have to send you some of the classics. I'll DM them over to you.
Oh yeah. Anytime I wear this shirt, people ask, "Did you go to the concert that was out here on this year?" I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't me. I don't go to no Kiss concert, boy. So yeah.
Well, a couple weeks ago, I interviewed a kid also wearing like a vintage rock T-shirt, and I was like, "Well, I gotta know you're wearing it," and I'm sure the band wasn't even famous like since you've been born, you know. And he's like,
Right,
"Oh
right.
no, they're becoming famous again." So I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay, if it's becoming a thing, I'm putting everybody
oh
on the
yeah,
spot
man.
that I see in one of those shirts."
Hey, the vintage T-shirts is a thing. It's really popular right now. But before
Exactly.
we
So I
go,
didn't know if I was gonna catch you or not.
oh yeah, no worries. I got a couple shout outs though before we get off here.
Yeah.
I got to shout out all my sponsors. I got to shout out Iconic Bulls, Essential Barbershop Boutique, Low Key Threads. We got Real versus Rare. We got Elevated State Smoke Shop. And we also got Bodega Music Group. We got Mad Tatters. And let me think. And I want to say that's it. I want to shout out them. I want to shout out to you for always showing love my whole career since I was an 18-year-old boy, and I'm 26 now. And my family, my friends, I love you guys. Kira Bella Martinez, Daddy loves you. Darren Andre Rivas, wherever you at, I'm gonna make you proud, my brother.